Monsieur Sterling.
Oh, Detective.
Please. I eagerly await to hear what reason...
A butler's job is
I am no fool, monsieur. You have spun enough...
Honestly, Detective, you don't...
And with good reason.
I've been thinking about my time with...
I often think on fond memories, but it does not...
There are many memories held within these... I didn't realize the noise I was making.
Obviously. Were you preoccupied?
Of course not.
No, monsieur. You attempted to dupe me again into...
Please, Detective. I know you know how it ended up in my possession. I was just trying to get some extra money together to send home.
Theft...
Deceive?
Would you care to explain the fake telephone call?
Why would I fake a telephone call?
The same reason that Mademoiselle Rihanna dressed in the major's jacket in the snow. To allow not only the guests, but me...
I didn't kill him.
I know, monsieur. But I also know that you helped the one that did.
It wasn't like that. We were just trying to help. You never let on. How long have you known?
Monsieur, I am Detective Hercule Poirot. I only show my...
You will be taking...
She will stand trial for what she...
But you don't know the full story. She is just a servant in this house.
If Mademoiselle was only protecting herself, as you both have claimed, she will surely be...
The Major's military...
The one that stored his medals.
Amongst other things, yeah.
And those other things are?
I had to protect her. If you found it when searching the study, you would have carted her off the...
Whatever it is you have hidden, it will not remain... I need a moment. Is there something I am... I cannot see the logic in this. I must act on thought. lucky guess. Magnifique. Huh. Hmm. Hmm. Ah. Things are beginning to become. I must take a different approach. This will not get me any closer. I must take a different approach. What a revelation! Another success.
There is no use lying. He always had his regiment.
And yet, it was not...
My father's. It must have fallen.
Monsieur, you have stashed evidence, manipulated...
If it is my path to end up behind bars for what I have done, so be. I have heard how you fought for that young maid before.
Even the secret area that has been created here.
I couldn't just leave it at the scene.
The Major was killed by his own knife. The knife that protected his life.
It was in his holster when he attacked her. He had hold of her arm. What else was she meant to use to get him off of her? She didn't plan any of it, Detective.
That is what Mademoiselle told you?
She did, and I believe her. You think you knew the Major, but you...
That may be true.
Put yourself in her shoes for a minute. If a man like that...
I need a moment. Come, my little Grayson. This will not get me any closer to my... Is there something I have... The pieces of the puzzle are order and method. That is the way. I should not be surprised by my own...
There is no use... When you asked me yesterday about...
That does not explain...
When Lizzie took me to the study, the knife was still in the Major's chest, and I knew I had to get rid of it.
So you collected it under the cover of darkness.
After your questioning in the pantry...
And where did you plan on moving it to?
Honestly?
Oh. Huh. Oh. Huh.
There is no use Why what?
Exactly.
Because she is family.
I can assure you, monsieur,
Then perhaps that says something about you, detective.
even if it means cross...
Without question. Aye, detective. But please, you have to help Liz.
If she is put behind bars,
Detective, you can't be so...
it is not cruelty, monsieur. Another success. Magnifique. I cannot see the logic in this. I must act on thought. The pieces of the puzzle are... I cannot see the logic in this. Some would say a lucky guess. Things are beginning to become... I should not be surprised by my...
Detective Poirot, I'm glad.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. It has certainly...
Please, Detective, I'm not sure I can take any.
I'm afraid this may be the...
You have found Felix's.
I have.
Detective, please.
It was Mademoiselle Elizabeth.
You must be mistaken. Elizabeth would.
I assure you I am not. It is something... When you spoke of the telephone lines being out of order, it made me question the conversation. I thought...
But it hasn't been working all. She was meant to be resting in the staff quarters.
I am afraid that was yet another lie.
Why would you think that?
I only managed a few words with her.
I must admit, he has a habit.
It was much more than merely disturbing our conversation.
So, Elizabeth killed Felix, and
In its simplest form, we.
you have spoken with Elizabeth already?
Not Elizabeth.
I wasn't.
It was Monsieur Sterling that I found in there.
What on earth was he doing?
He claimed he was merely.
You don't but
It did not take long for me to uncover
hidden.
a room that held all.
I had no idea. Did you
I did. Were you.
dishonorably? Yes, Gideon told me about the.
Zachariah was adamant of the Major's cruelty during the war, but the extent was not known until now.
Surely not. He would not do such a.
I am afraid not.
Oh, detective.
It is the reason he was discharged, denied his military pension, and that.
He had been. In a sense, you said it was.
It was her hand that held the knife, but he was quite in.
In all of the years I have known her, she has barely even raised her voice.
The whole truth cannot be known.
Will you allow me to be present?
I think that is an excellent idea.
Please, detective.
I will offer Mademoiselle Elizabeth a fair trial.
Thank you, detective.
Would you bring Mademoiselle Elizabeth to the study?
Of course, I'll find.
Mademoiselle Elizabeth,
Miss Angeline said you requested to.
we have some serious matters to
Oh, still not quite myself.
I was surprised when Monsieur Sterling hurried you to it.
I should not have avoided my duties for so long. The house does not stop.
That is true, but you cannot be expected to
Honestly, have you been able to uncover who the...
The blackmailer's identity has been
Wonderful news, detective. You can put it all behind you now.
I would not say thrilled, knowing that.
Mademoiselle is correct. What I have learned over this weekend is that people are not always.
And, what of the Major's kill?
Well, Mademoiselle.
I'm not quite sure what you want me to say, detective.
Your honest opinion is all I ask. And, s'il te plaît.
We only spoke when there was something in the house to be done. We did not speak of interests or pastime.
You knew of his work with Monsieur de Silva,
I only know what is required of me to know, and that is very little.
but you were aware of his work as security.
I was.
The factory your beloved Luke worked at.
Yes, detective. Yes, that is where he spent his last moments.
The resulting riots were a terrible tragedy. One that I hope we will not have to see or experience again.
Nobody deserved to die that day. Not my Luke. Detective, what kind of question?
It is a straightforward one. Mademoiselle, if there is something you wish to tell me,
I'm sorry, detective, I just don't know how to answer it.
let us consider what we know of the Major. He fronted the militia that attacked the workers at the strike. You were aware of this? You finally had someone to blame for Luke's death.
No, detective.
Tell me what happened with the Major on the evening of...
I was only in here trying to prove what I heard Mr. Beckers say. I was going to report him, I swear.
I want to. I am still trying to.
I was delivering Miss Angeline's dress to her room when I heard Mr. Beckers arguing with the Major in his study. Mr. Beckers was talking about the factory strikes and how it was the Major's fault.
I cannot imagine the Major would have taken kindly to Monsieur Beck.
He didn't. He called him some... rather... After the altercation between the Major and Master Gideon, you went to speak with him outside, and I thought I could look around his study without anyone
And did you find the proof you...
I found a payment from Mr. De Silva, but there was nothing incriminating about that.
And then you saw the...
I recognized the writing on the envelope. I couldn't believe it. How could he...
Common sense would determine the Major was an...
If I'd have used common sense, I wouldn't have been snooping around alone in... I heard the footsteps in the hall, and before I could move, The Major was standing in front of me, demanding to know why I was going through his belongings without permission. I tried to come up with an excuse, but nothing came out, and when he saw the letter in my hand, it was like Dr. Jekyll turning into Mr. Hyde. I tried to move around him towards the door, but he hurled something towards me, and it crashed against the wall.
That would explain the damage to the wall.
I froze. I have never been so scared in all my life. I thought he was going to kill me there and then.
And you thought you would beat him to it?
Oh, Detective, you make it sound as though I had it all planned. He lunged forward and grabbed me by the arm. I tried to push him away, but he was too strong. If only you had seen the look in his eyes, I dared not even scream. I saw the sheath on his belt. I didn't know what else.
So you took your opportunity to...
I just wanted to get him off me. I didn't want to hurt him. I reached for it and I jabbed it at him. His grip instantly loosened.
You did not even look to see what state you had left him in?
She had just been attacked,
Oui, please.
I ran down to the pantry looking for Rahana. I explained to her what had happened and she went to find Archie. We went back to the study. Archie said that no one would believe me. That if someone like me killed someone like him, I would be sent straight to the gallows. He left the letter so you would find it. He said that if people knew what the Major was really like, then they wouldn't care.
So I am to believe that it was Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna that cleaned the scene and orchestrated a plan that included a fake telephone call.
I swear I had no idea that is what they had done. Archie just told me to stay out of sight. I'm no...
Then Monsieur Sterling and Mademoiselle Rihanna will be charged for obstruction of justice.
Please, Detective, they were only trying to...
If they wish to help you, they should have brought all of this to my attention immediately instead...
Surely you haven't forgotten what happened with Fleurette. She was only accused of stealing a bracelet. I killed a man.
It is a day I have not forgotten, mademoiselle.
Without your help, I don't stand a chance. Please...
Oh, Elizabeth, why didn't...
I didn't think you would believe me. I felt so guilty. And when it was announced yesterday that he was a victim of the blackmailer, I wanted to tell you everything. I came... I'm sorry.
I must act on thought and... What a revelation!
Oh, yes? I don't...
If you have been honest with me until now...
I'm sorry, I really don't know. Archie dropped it out of the study window and he said he would deal with it. Please, I was only protecting myself.
Oui, mademoiselle. Mademoiselle tells quite the harrowing...
I cannot imagine the Major acting in such a way.
After learning what I have about the Major's character this weekend, I know that you share a close bond with...
She has committed a terrible crime, but...
If what she says of the Major's attack is true, she acted... I will do everything I can to... Mademoiselle, it is time.
Are you sure?
I can assure you.
Elizabeth was right, though.
Mademoiselle, when would you ask the guests to come?
Of course. And what?
I have told Monsieur Sterling to remain in the staff quarters with the others. You have been of great help to me throughout.
You only need...
While I am speaking with the guests in the library...
You don't think she will try and escape, do you?
In her position, I do not know what she might try.